Janine, welcome in. Comment, tell us
Hi.
first where you are, then what's on your mind, and John, hopefully you can direct questions to John, to David, to me, or just tell us again what you think about what happened in the Oval.
Okay, thank you for having me and thank you for this platform. I enjoy these conversations so much.
Great, thank you.
I'm in Long Island, New York. I'm in Long Island, New York. I am actually, I mean, what is done is done, and I'm hoping that the fallout of all of this isn't as bad as I think it might be. I saw something today where there's a Norway company that is now refusing to provide fuel to um, I guess, American military ships. And they put out a statement. I saw it online today. And I saw all the statements of the European leaders who are, condemning Vance and Trump for their behavior. And it just feels like the global fallout might be worse than we think.
Yeah, that's possible. That's very possible. As John said, we really don't know what the implications are yet. Well, Janine, what did you think of what happened in the Oval Office in terms of culpability, in terms of arguments?
So I did watch the whole thing, and I do think um, that Zelensky was the agitator. I feel like he was trying to have a conversation that should have happened behind closed doors, and it ended up in front of the media. And I think that that was not proper and not really respectful. I understand him needing to have that conversation and get his thoughts and feelings out there to President Trump, but I don't think he should have chosen that time to do it.
Great. David or John, any
But I,
questions?
I
Go
just
ahead.
want to point out, because another background detail. I read today, it's from one of the books about might be Woodward's, or it might be uh, Foer's book about Biden, that he had a conversation with Zelensky in the summer of 2022, in which he said, you could be a little more grateful to me for everything I'm doing for you. But it was a private conversation on the telephone. Zelensky, I would just say, to be fair to Zelensky, if you don't have to be, but this wasn't supposed to be the press conference. They were going to have a press conference at 4. Trump turned this moment, which is Mark knows I can't remember what the term is, where you bring the press in to take the photographs of the meeting. Then the
Right.
press is supposed to leave. Classically, the press leaves, having taken the photograph of them in the chairs, and the press leaves, and then they have a private conversation. Trump, who is now doing everything differently from the way anybody has ever done it, kept the press in the room. And so the conversation then proceeded in public. Zelensky made a huge mistake not being anodyne and toothless in that conversation, but he wasn't prepared, clearly was not prepared for the fact that they were having a big public forum
Yeah.
discussion. He hadn't been briefed for it.
Yep.
They were going to finish this. He was probably going to have an hour and a half of briefing for the press conference in the room that he went into when they ended the catastrophe. And so that was new. That's like something new. We've never, that doesn't happen. Like, sometimes
Yeah.
people ask two questions at that. What is it called? The spray? It's not a spray. What is it? Is it
Pool,
spray?
pool spray photo op.
Pool spray. Okay. So there was a pool spray. It was supposed to be 5 minutes long and ended up being 57 minutes long.
Yeah.
And so he wasn't in the right frame of mind, obviously, clearly,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
David, we're happy if any of the Braille children show up, so don't worry about that.
Yeah, no.
Uh,
He's actually my 9-year-old trying to help me get my charger
yeah.
for my computer. So,
All
in
right.
typical.
David, do you have any questions for Janine you'd
No,
like to ask?
I had a comment. I think that anything else, I mean, I'd love for people to respond to this. Is, what I don't like this whole. Although I do think it's the reason why people are talking about this 80-20 concept, that the Republicans are on the 80 side and the Democrats are on the 20 side is interesting. I think it's very inaccurate, but I do think it's a very interesting concept. And I like to look at the data. If anything, there are a couple slides we showed today that was not 80-20. Nothing's, although that
Right.
almost 80% of America thinks that the United States has the leverage over Ukraine on any negotiation, from a standpoint of who's leading negotiations. That was a loud number, but
Yeah.
it's not 80-20. It's
Yeah.
it's much more. and I thought there was some very interesting insights from this on the fact that, there's a lot of independents and a lot of Democrats that thought that Vance and Trump handled themselves well.
Yeah.
And this, obviously all Republicans did. And I think that that's one thing that we should be looking at here. And because I do feel like as we continue to look at these issues, these key conflicts, that's what everyone has to look at. Is like, hey, you know, how many Democrats or how many independents are actually thinking that Trump or Vance handled themselves well? I think we're
Yep.
seeing that in
Right.
this as well.
Yep. Janine, thank you for joining. Grateful to you.